So we're going to go ahead and kick things off with Monday Night Raw. A lot of people already talk about Raw. I think it's about time I kind of put my foot in the door a little bit. You know, kind of get my hands a little dirty. I mean, if everyone else is going to suffer through Raw, I might as well too. I might as well jump in that bandwagon or that shit pile. So let's go and start with Raw. Everyone knows Raw has been a very lackluster show. I think that's the safest word to use. It's downright just terrible. So I'm gonna kind of go over kind of the key points here, the key stuff that I kind of remember. Last week we had Drew McIntyre get attacked after the show by Dio Madden and Jonathan Dijakovic. I'm gonna call him by those names, not Mason Slapdick or whatever his name is, or T-Bar. Sorry, T-Bar. So we open up with Drew McIntyre wanting answers from MVP, trying to figure out, are they part of the Hurt Business? And of course we see Dio Madden and we see T-Bar. God, I hate those names. Those are fucking terrible. Attack Drew. So Drew decides, you know what? I'm going to challenge them to a handicap match. And of course, Adam Pearce, the general manager, whatever you want to call him, is telling Drew, like, well, no, you got to have a partner. You got to find yourself a partner. If Drew wants to fight these guys, just let him fight. I don't get it. You can do a handicap match. It's fine. But either way, it led to a very disappointing match. I mean, Drew and Mace and T-Bar had a handicap match. It ended, I think, a disqualification within like the first few minutes. And then Braun Strowman came out. And then that got turned into a tag team match. And then paired to that, victory went nowhere. And honestly, I was phasing out. The only thing I did see was they got their masks removed. Mason and T-Bar did, which is a good thing. Because I'm tired of this gimmick of retribution stuff. It was a failure. Just call them Madden and Dijakovic. Just they're unmasked now. There's no need to put on the mask anymore. Don't call them by their dumb names now. Call them by their other names now, their real names. I just think that's more fitting. But then again, I don't really care about this. Shelton Benjamin, Cedric Alexander, of course, got tossed to the curb from the Hurt Business, and they had yet another match with the War Raiders or War Machine or Viking Experience or whatever you want to call them. They've had like a billion names. And of course they lost. I'm not even joking. When I saw Shelton and Cedric in the ring after commercial break, I flat out said out loud, watch, they're going to fight the Viking Raiders. And lo and behold, they came out. My God. I did not care. War Raiders won. Who cares? Like, I'm glad the War Raiders are back, get some tag teams, but this whole tag team division, just in general, just sucks. It really does suck. It's just awful. It's just plain garbage. There's no real teams. There's no real effort put into any of this. That's some good drink. Yeah, so I'm going to take some breaks for time getting myself a drink because we're going to be here for a while. Of course, we have Asuka and Charlotte having a match on this show. And I'll get to more Charlotte news a little bit later, so stick around for that. But Charlotte comes out, and, she's kind of her typical Charlotte Flair promo. I respect her as an athlete, but I'm so done with Charlotte, and she's awful on the microphone. I mean, seriously, when all she does is this. My name is Charlotte. And I am the queen. And I am the opportunity. And I want my championship. It's horrendous. I don't know if she purposely does that to annoy us or she literally can't act or talk worth shit. I respect Char as an athlete, but I'm over this. It's getting repetitive and they need to cut that down. But Asuka came out. Says I'm gibberish and then basically called her a bitch. I'm going to make you my bitch. Of course, Rhea Ripley was out there, the Raw Women's Champion, saying that, you're not going to even beat Asuka, Charlotte. So we got Asuka and Charlotte. Seems like forever. And basically, thanks to Rhea Ripley getting involved. Asuka gets a fluke win over Charlotte. And then Charlotte just snaps. She just loses it. She starts attacking a referee. And other referees try to pull her apart, and she just won't stop. A grown woman beating up a grown man. A referee. Well, I'll give them credit. I mean, they're trying to make Charlotte a badass, but look, I don't hate Charlotte as a human being. I don't know her personally, but as an athlete, as a character, I cannot stand her. I'm over this. I'm so happy Rhea's the champion now because we need new blood. We need new stars. We need more like Shotzi Blackheart, Dakota Kai, and Io Shirai, Bianca Belair. We need more of that. Less Charlotte, please. But another thing that happened on this show, again, I'm not going to lie, I don't remember a lot from Monday Night Raw, but here's another thing I want to kind of get into. We had Randy Orton kind of promo in the back regarding the whole Fiend. He's done with the Fiend and he's moving on. He's the most dangerous man in the business, blah, blah, blah. Generic promo. Then we see Matt Riddle annoying Randy Orton with his stupid, corny, cringy, talk, and Orton just goes, I want a match with Riddle. And they have a match. And I'll say this, they had a really good match. Matt Riddle and Randy Orton probably had the best match of the night, in my opinion. They had a really good, hard-hitting match. But somewhere in this match, unfortunately, I guess Randy Orton must have suffered an injury. I've even noticed this too. I could be wrong, but when Randy Orton went for the power slam, his scoop power slam that he normally does when an opponent runs the ropes and Orton catches him and just slams it to the mat, I noticed as soon as he hit, he held his shoulder. And he wasn't really using that shoulder a whole lot. So I knew something was wrong. And apparently rumors are that he got another shoulder injury. It really does suck because Randy Orton has had major shoulder injuries for a long time. And look, I may not be the biggest Randy Orton fan unless it comes to Twitter. I mean, Randy Orton's on Twitter. He's awesome. I love Orton on Twitter. But I can't really get behind Orton anymore. He doesn't do anything for me anymore. It's just like, whatever. I mean, besides doing the RKO, what does this guy really do? He does really nothing for me, honestly. And that's just a personal opinion. I know there are probably fans of Randy Orton. I don't get behind him. At least this version. I love the Legend Killer, the old Legend Killer, who was way younger. His early 20s. I was more of a fan of that, personally. But Orton got injured. I hope he's okay. I hope for him, honestly, for a speedy recovery. Injuries are going to happen. It sucks. It's always a freak accident. You don't know when it's going to occur. But it just sucks because this is probably the billionth shoulder injury Randy Orton has suffered. This is going to suck. Hopefully, it's not going to take too long. Hopefully, it's nothing major. No updates really on that. But all I know is reportedly Randy Orton has been injured again, mainly on the shoulder area. So shortly after that, a few more minutes later, we see Matt Riddle go for a crucifix pin. And he pins Randy Orton. He pinned Randy Orton and got a big victory. I'm not going to lie. I was not expecting Matt Riddle to get a victory because they've been kind of portraying him as a kind of a loser. And here's the thing about Matt Riddle. On NXT, he was dumb. But he wasn't to the point of cringy. He was kind of fun to watch. But he always kept a badass persona about him. A lot of people, and someone I want to mention this, Jared, for some of you that's not from formerly known as Wrestling Gurus or Global Smith Entertainment. Jared told me that he thinks Matt Riddle is very overrated. Here's the thing about Matt Riddle. As his current gimmick character, I don't blame someone like Jared for not taking this guy seriously or thinking this guy's a joke. But as an in-ring performer, he's great. He is a great hard-hitting style, MMA style, and it works for him. It's just no one can take the gimmick seriously. And I think that's the biggest problem is when you have Matt Riddle overdoing it, and we all know why he's overdoing it. It's all because of one man. because he thinks it's funny, make him completely stupid on purpose, and then basically overshadows his matches to a point where when he has a match, we don't care because his character's just beyond retarded. It's messed up, but that's unfortunate. That's what WWE does. They overexpose certain people and they kind of get their weaknesses out. But Matt Riddle's a really good performer, and it's not fair that now we can't enjoy Matt Riddle match because they overdo his stupidity gimmick. It's just ridiculous. But Matt Riddle got a big victory here on Orton, which again I'm surprised. I would expect him to lose. I mean, he got squashed by Lashley not too long ago. For the billionth time. I think there was a tag team match. New Day against Elias and Jackson. Racist. Throwaway match. Elias and Jackson won. Okay. No news on the Raw Tag Team Champions, though. We haven't seen AJ or Omos on the show. I don't know what's going on with that. Guess we'll have to wait and see for more information about that. Sheamus decided to throw an open challenge, not for the U.S. title, but just an open challenge. And Humberto Carrillo, hey, that guy works here. Forgot he worked there. And he's been working out. And of course he gets taken out because, God forbid, we can't take a talented guy like that and push him to upper mid-card. We got to just squash him by Sheamus. Always nice. More stuff with Nia Jax and the Mandy Rose, Dan Brooks up. I don't want to talk about that at all, personally. I mean, that whole storyline just absolutely sucks. I mean, everything about that, from Reginald to the botch slip to the baby faces running away and getting themselves purposely counted out when they can beat the tag team champions and earn a tag team title match. I guess embarrassing that is more important than just winning championships or getting an opportunity to become champions. I think Stone Cold would disagree on that. Give me a sec here. Ah, that's good. Yeah, I'm just trying to clear my throat up a little bit. But basically, I'm trying to think of anything else on Raw that really happened that I'm trying to think of. I could be missing a thing or two, but those are all mainly the key points. Raw's just bad right now. And I'll say this, I'll keep saying this. The last good Monday Night Raw from top to bottom was the Raw before Battleground 2016, when they started the rebirth of the brand split. That last Raw was truly the last great Raw. That's the night where you had the two fatal four-ways, which were won by Finn Balor and Roman Reigns, which they main evented that Raw to find out who would fight Rollins at SummerSlam for the inaugural Universal Championship. And then you also had Sasha Banks winning her first Raw Women's Championship against Charlotte in a great women's match on there. You had a few debuts like Braun Strowman, or returns like Strowman and Nia Jax. You know, a few little squash matches in there. You got a new Titantron and theme song by Shinedown, which is a very underrated theme song in my opinion. But that was a great Raw, and I could go back and watch that, and it's just awesome. It's just a fun Raw. You get a lot of great matches, and for a 3-hour show, it moves very quickly. Honestly, it doesn't feel like it drags. And I think that's one of the problems. The 3 hours of Raw don't bug me personally as much as it bothers everyone else. I think the reason why 3-hour Raw, people hate 3-hour Raws, is because the shows are awful. And when your shows are awful, they drag more than they should. And I think that's why people hate the 3-hour shows. If 3-hour Raws were actually good, I don't think many people would be complaining as much. Maybe you'll get a few that don't care for it. They'd rather go back to 2 hours. But I think because Raws are so unbearable at these times, making it 3 hours just makes it worse. You know, it's like getting like a large needle, a large shot. Instead of lasting for maybe 5 or 10 seconds, it lasts for like 3 minutes straight. It's just annoying. It's painful. and you're just asking yourself, can you remove the needle, please? I'm done. Tap out. I'm done. So Raw's unbearable. It's crap as always. I mean, what else are you gonna do? I'm not Vince McMahon. I can say my opinion, but Raw was just crap, like always. Maybe one day we'll get good Raw. Excuse me one moment. Excuse me. So now we'll move on to SmackDown. SmackDown, I thought, was overall a better show. I still think SmackDown from late 2016 to early 2017 were the last really great years of SmackDown. But SmackDown was easily the better show. In my opinion, it was the better show between the two, bar none. Plus, with it's 2 hours, it also makes it easier. So we start off with Cesaro coming out in the middle of the ring to open the show to probably address Roman Reigns because he wants that Universal title match. But he realizes he wants Seth Rollins because Rollins attacked him during his main event match and got himself DQ'd. So before he can answer, Rollins comes out and he's talking about how lucky you got and this will never end between us. And we see Jey Uso come out and saying that you're not worthy enough to fight Roman Reigns and I'm going to give you a beat down. And it looks like Rollins or Uso are going to team up on Cesaro when Daniel Bryan returns. We haven't seen Daniel Bryan since WrestleMania 37. He comes back out. And, he's, calling out. He's calling out Roman Reigns saying like, hey, Roman, are you scared to fight Cesaro? Cesaro wants to fight you. And we see Roman Reigns come out, saying like, Cesaro's not worth it. And Bryan, you're not worth it. All that stuff. And basically we get to a tag team match. Which actually, the tag team match actually lasted a lot longer than I thought. I only thought it would maybe 10, 15 minutes at most. I think this match went like 2 commercial breaks. Pretty good opener. A pretty fun little tag team match there. Rollins ended up leaving towards the end of the match. He didn't want any part of Cesaro or Daniel Bryan. And Daniel Bryan ended up getting the win for his team. He pinned Jey Uso with the running knee. So very good opener, and Bryan gets on microphone saying, "Hey Roman, are you scared? Are you scared, Cesaro? Is that why you won't defend your title? You won't accept him?" And of course, Daniel Bryan tells Cesaro to start swinging Jey Uso, saying, "Hey Roman, if you really care about your family so much, come on and help him." And of course, they're just beating down Jey, embarrassing him. And of course, Roman doesn't come out. So later in the show, Daniel Bryan goes to Adam Pearce and he says, look, Cesaro deserves this opportunity more than anybody. Give him the title shot, of course. And Pearce is going, look, he does deserve it, but it's not easy. I can't just make the decision to do a title match. And of course, Bryan is saying, like, I hope you make the right decision. So we move on with that. That'll be towards the end of the segment, which is the big bombshell that got dropped. So, evolving SmackDown for next week. Trying to see what else we had here on SmackDown. I know we had an Intercontinental Championship match. We had an Intercontinental Championship match between Apollo Crews, the new champion, defending against Kevin Owens. Matter of fact, I think that was the next. Yeah, that was the next match. So, a pretty good match, standard match. We see Kevin Owens getting interviewed, and of course he's excited. He's like, I've never been Intercontinental Champion. It's been a long time since I've won that championship. And we see Big E. He comes out, looking at Kevin Owens, saying, like, laughing, like, "Hey, I'm happy you're getting a title shot before me." And they're playing off, but they're clearly Big E's pissed off. He wants that Intercontinental Championship back. So Kevin Owens and Apollo Crews, they start having the match, and towards the middle of the match, Sami Zayn comes out, or I like to call him Big Larry. Let's see how many people get that reference. Big Larry comes out, and he sits down on the announce table right next to the commentators, and he just does commentary. And Owens gets blindsided by, God, what's his name now? Z or C or Babadook, or Baba Kato. Basically, Baba Kato's character's name. I keep forgetting his name. The bodyguard for Apollo Crews. He gets involved. Apollo gets the victory, and Owens gets laid out. Apollo runs out with the championship, praising, and of course, Big Larry starts dancing from Owens because they're destined to fight forever. I think that's the one thing we can all agree. Owens and Zayn are never going to stop. They're always going to remain fighting each other. I think that's kind of priceless, to be honest. It's actually kind of cute. But then later we go backstage and we see Apollo Crews being interviewed, being happy that he's retained his Intercontinental Champion. And of course Big E comes out and he attacks Apollo. He beats him down until referees pull him, Big E apart. And, Baba Kato comes out and he looks at Apollo like, "Are you okay?" And he looks over at Big E and you have this angry look. So it looks like they're going to do Big E versus Baba Kato. Probably a matchup first. But Big E is going to get his rematch for Intercontinental Championship. If I had to guess, probably a Backlash. I'm not calling it WrestleMania Backlash. That is a redundant name. I don't understand that. Why not just call it Backlash? What's wrong with that? I never understood that. Honestly, I never had. Then we go to Tamina and Nia Jax. Next match, moving on. I do not want to talk about that because I legit don't care. We have Rey Mysterio, Dominic versus Otis and Chad Gable. The Mysterios win. Whatever. But before then, we got a little segment. We found out randomly on Twitter that Bayley was going to be challenging Bianca Belair for the Women's Championship. Well, that came out of nowhere. I kind of figured they built it up more, but okay. Not going to complain too much. I mean, I love me some Bayley, so now that she's single. I'm kidding. I'm not one of those creeps. But we did get a chance to meet Bayley a few years ago. It's pretty cool. But anyways, so we had Bayley come out. She's being interviewed. She's talking about her match with Bianca Belair. She's, of course, talking about how, Bianca Belair, should be thanking me. I helped her get to the pedestal that she is. I helped her become relevant and all that. And, of course, earlier, Street Profits and the Dirty Dogs, before this, were going at it. They were talking, possibly trying to tease a tag team title match. Oh, man. Yeah, I'm just talking. I think I gotta calm down a little bit. But anyways, after the little, before it got to a tag team war, Bayley kind of shoo him off. And, Bayley's bragging and saying that Bianca Belair is still, she owes everything to her and all that. And we see Montez Ford, who's married to Bianca in real life, pulling out her phone on speaker and saying like, "Hey, Bayley was talking shit about you." And Bianca goes, "Okay, I'll be right there." And they end up getting into an argument, and Bianca's basically saying like, "You have a problem with me? We can go." And Bayley just want to say like, "Look, I just want to say that I'm sorry. I want to say you've been a great champion. You earned that victory. That match with Sasha was great. And with all due respect, I just want to have the best match possible and make the better woman win." And then looked like Bayley was about to leave, and she was about to say something else to Bianca, and then she just started laughing. Basically, she's like, she didn't mean anything that she meant. Now moving forward to Aleister Black. After what they're doing with Aleister Black now, I don't know if I should be happy he's going to be returning or being confused. How do I describe this? So they do this little promo package of Aleister Black, this segment. He's in a dark room with candles, and he's got his black suit on, and he's wearing glasses, like reading glasses. Looking like a librarian, like a goth librarian. And he's reading this book on a chapter called The Dragon. And they go to this little story of this little boy who gets adopted, I guess, by these priests, and then the priests really they want him to become a dragon, basically become evil or something like that. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but Aleister Black's a heel. I'll say this. I give the company 2 months before they ruin Aleister Black again. 2 months. So, well, that will be... So, let's see. It's April right now. I give it till June. Sometime late June to fuck over Aleister Black again. Give it time. I think that's what's going to happen. I think Aleister Black is going to be... Aleister Black is not going to last long. I mean, if you watch this clip, it's so Vince. It's just over the top. This isn't Aleister Black. I miss the Aleister Black from NXT. That was the silent, mysterious character. You don't know when he was going to strike. I miss that Aleister Black. Can we have that Aleister Black, please? Not this gothic, punk rock, librarian gimmick. Like I said, I don't even know what this is. I don't know what this is. But I give them 2 months before they ruin Aleister Black again. Because that's done before they ruin everything. Then we get on to the main segment. So shortly after the tag team match between Alpha Academy and the Mysterios, we see Cesaro and Daniel Bryan come out. They head to the ring and they're like, hey Roman, you told us you're going to come out here and make a decision, so are you going to defend your title against me? What's going to be? Then we see Roman Reigns come out with Paul Heyman and Jey Uso, and Roman goes up and shoots straight with Cesaro, saying, look, you don't deserve shit. You don't deserve to be challenging me for the title. You haven't earned anything. So I'm not accepting a challenge from you. But I am going to give you, Daniel Bryan, a challenge. Goes over to Daniel Bryan, and he's talking to him, and he says, look, I want to give you one more shot at this Universal Championship. I'll give you one more shot. But if you lose, you're banned from SmackDown. I don't want to see you on SmackDown ever again. And of course, Daniel Bryan is hesitant. He's like, I don't want to do this. This is Cesaro's time. Even Cesaro's saying, dude, you got to go for it. Go for it. And Bryan decides, you know what? I accept. So next week, we're getting a huge match for SmackDown. Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan for the Universal Championship. Daniel Bryan loses. He's gone. He is gone from SmackDown. This is pretty interesting. I'm not going to lie. I mean, there have been rumors about Daniel Bryan possibly, wanting to retire soon or early. I mean, it's quite possible. It is possible. This could be his hoorah, but they say he was banished from SmackDown. They never said anything to him being banished from in-ring competition. So he could lose, and then he could end up on Raw, which honestly, Bryan should go to Raw because Raw needs as much talent as they can. Plus, they got NXT. I think Finn Balor can always come back to SmackDown to take Daniel Bryan's place. But I do believe Roman Reigns is going to retain the championship. Maybe Edge will come out, and maybe he'll cost Daniel Bryan the match, and that sets up Edge and Bryan at Backlash, and then that sets up Reigns and Cesaro. It's possible. There's quite a few things they could do here, but I do believe Roman Reigns will retain the championship here for next Friday. But it should be a good match, though. It should be really, really good.